Hello, everyone. Can you hear us? This is Emma, and I'm Dorian. Don't hesitate to write a bit on the chat to confirm to us that you can see us and you can hear us. We're very happy to be here live with you and excited to see what questions you have to ask us. And maybe there's a delay, so we don't see them. But don't hesitate to start asking us any questions you have. We'll start by presenting a bit who we are and what Groover is. Maybe you can start, Emma.
Yeah, sure. So who am I? I'm Emma. I've been working at Groover for a little over a year. And what I do is customer success management. So the biggest part of my job is like doing the support and answering you guys for your questions on the platform, guiding you if you don't find relevant contacts, or just answering your questions. So maybe I've already talked to some of you. I hope you had a good experience with me. So don't hesitate if you have any questions. And I see that they can
Perfect.
hear us, so that's good.
Yeah, perfect. And I'm Dorian. I'm one of the co-founders of Groover, and one of first before in the beginning I was answering to everybody on the platform. Now it's not the case. Emma is answering to most of you. With William as well, and the idea of this new format will be to listen to read your questions and see if we can answer deeply. You can ask questions about anything. We'll try to answer to everything. The main topics being how to use Groover, but also how to promote your music. There are a lot of tools that we know, a lot of things that we can give you in terms of advice. So if you have a release coming up and you have some questions about how to promote it and how to make it more visible to music creators, to bloggers, to radio stations, if you wondering how to start it out, don't hesitate to ask questions. Oh, there's someone who says I love Groover. That's great. Thank you. Okay, so I think we have a first question
Yes.
from someone on Twitch that I will show on the screen so you can see it, Emma. So first question, it's exciting. uh, Yes, it will be in English only if someone is asking, and we'll probably do a French session in 2 weeks. Not sure, but we'll try to do it in English only. We're wondering in which language to do first, but the idea was to make it coherent and so everybody can follow it through. So this one is going to be in English, but the next one is going to be in French. Maybe at some point we'll do one in Spanish. We don't know, but this one is going to be in English. The first one is, how do you determine if your song sent is actually marketable and worth spending money on? That's an interesting question. Um, it's complicated to know. It depends on your targets. Like, what do you want to reach? Do you want to have more people listening to your music? Do you want to earn money with your music? Do you want both? I think one of the things that we see on Groover is that your track has to be finished, so it has to be mixed and have a good mastering quality. Before that, you can also use Groover to get in touch with mentors, coaches, sound engineers to have feedback on your production. But after that, once it's ready and you feel it's ready, the important stuff is, of course, to have a visual, to know how you want to present it. Maybe write a short pitch, write a short bio, and then my the thing is you need to test the market. So if you haven't received some feedback or anything, it's complicated before. So I would say that using Groover is actually a good way to know if it's actually maybe gonna work. I don't know if Emma, you want to add something.
Yes, I actually want to say that I think it would be a good idea to try out with like at least a few contacts to know and see how your song is received and kind of get feedback to understand if the sound is good, if the production is good. And I think after that you can go on to actually knowing if you want to promote, have a good promotion strategy, and contact more playlists. You know, radios, etc. So really go on to the promotion, and I think it's important that you have the music, obviously, but also the image part. So that's going to be very important for the promotion. So
We have another question from Gamal who asks us, I've had a few experiences where sync companies won't work with me because my music is distributed through TuneCore. Um, can you maybe tell us if it's related?
Mm, 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 mm.
What is happening?
Can you hear us? It's like
It seems that it's okay and it's back. Uh, we're good. Okay, sorry. I don't know what happened exactly. It never happened to me on Restream, but now I think it's okay. So yeah, so this question is about you've had a few experience with sync companies. Do you mean sync companies that you reached out to on Groover? Is it or is it like sync companies in general? Because I know that some sync supervisors, if they do it in a not like non-exclusive way, they should be able to work with you. But if they have exclusive deals, maybe indeed it's complicated if you already have your publishing managed by TuneCore Music Publishing Administration. Have you actually given the rights to TuneCore to collect your rights on publishing, or is it something that you just purchased and you didn't give the information? It's also something you can opt out from TuneCore if you want to. So don't hesitate to tell us. Uh, non-exclusive. Okay.
I think you can also maybe.
Non-exclusive or release music or music release published through someone else. Um, yeah, maybe it's the case with some publishers, because some publishers will want to have a contract with you and represent all your rights for your music. But most of the supervisors and sync supervisors, they should be able to work with you on your tracks. If you have specific ones that you don't know why they can't work with you, don't hesitate to use the chat icon on the website and tell us more about it so we can dig and ask also the sync supervisor what the issue potentially is. And in more generally, when you have an issue with a specific creator or something you don't understand, you can reach out to us on the website. I'm sure you where here on this screenshot, but here, so you won't see it. But here in the bottom left corner, you have a chat icon that you can use, and you can ask us question about a specific creator, and we'll dig to know more about it. So. And yes, you can opt out from TuneCore Publishing Administration. It's not something you're forced to use. It can be interesting if you start to have a lot of revenue from publishing, but in the beginning, usually it's not the case. And it can be problematic because it blocks you from some options of having a publisher working with you. But it's also something that can be interesting if you start to have a lot of views on YouTube and a lot of views, a lot of streams, and they can collect publishing rights for you directly. So it's really a bargain here. But if you start working with publishers, probably they will ask you to opt out from TuneCore, and something you can do if you feel that it would be cool to work with that publisher. It's really a bargain here. Um, so are there some other questions? I don't know if
Yes, I saw
it's
one question.
this one.
Yeah.
So can I also promote the video clip with Google partners or only audio music? So do you want to answer? Maybe Emma?
Yeah, sure. So absolutely, if you have a video, you should definitely use it to promote your music on Groover. You can use to send your music on Groover. You can use either a SoundCloud link if you have audio only, or you can use your YouTube link. So if you have a video, that's great. And it's actually a very good idea if you want to contact YouTube channels. Obviously, if you want to contact media journalists that might want to promote the clip. So I think it's a
Yeah,
very
blogs and magazines tend to like to have this image and music videos that they want to share. So actually, if you have a music video, if you have a music video on YouTube, you should definitely use that link because it also showcases your universe and your visual identity. So it's always a plus when you have one, and you can definitely use it on Groover. On the creator side and the pro side, they will see a player of your music. So if it's a SoundCloud player, it will be SoundCloud. If it's a YouTube player, they will see the video. So you can definitely use it. I think there was a very large question, which is, as an up and coming artist, what do you think I should spend most money on? Um, um, Probably you've already spent a lot of money on your instruments, on your product production, on your recording session. So obviously you've already spent some music. So if we focus more on what you will spend money on after that to make it visible, it's a tough question, but it's complicated. If you still have a budget for promotion, of course you can spend on platforms such as Groover to try to get visibility with blogs, with radios, with record labels, and try to get your music out there. Advertisement on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube can also be a good idea. But it's important that you really try to know how to use actually those platforms to have results. We have some articles on our blog, on the Groover blog, that showcase how to use those platforms, and there are a lot of tutorials if you look on Google, sorry. Groover, Google, no, it's not the same. If you look on Google, you can put some small budgets to try to reach out to new audiences. But I think what's very important is to put some money on the production that is around your music, around your visual universe. If you want to have someone do your artwork or do a music video, everything that's around your artistic universe is very important, probably. I don't know if Emma, you want to add something on this about the
And
budget?
I was actually looking for the article about the ads on the blog, but I might add it in the comments. I think it would be important to have a good balance between of course, since you spend money on your music, you also want people to hear it. So I think promotion is going to be somewhere that you spend money on, and I think a platform like Groover will help you with like playlists with loads of different stuff, and the ads on social media will also help you to gain followers and also gain credibility on your platform. So I think the balance of both would be interesting for you.
Yeah, exactly. I can see a question here, which is compared to other websites. I have a relationship with STEM and Venice Music. These companies will help me in my future releases, but will Groover be successful at promoting my current music? Um, I think so. Yeah. So you can use Groover for your music that is already released, but also your future music. We can see that a lot with Spotify playlist curators, where they don't actually care if it's a new release or a new track. You can definitely use Groover to send music that is already released to try to push streams again and push the visibility. Promotion is very doesn't have a lot of rules in terms of timing right now. Like when you start promoting your music, on especially in using Groover and trying to reach out to creators and professionals, you can do that for a long time. And actually, people on the other side, they are not gonna mind if your track was released just a week ago or some months ago, especially for place creators or for radio stations, for professionals. So you can use Groover to promote your music to those creators. To give you a bit more information about Groover, if you have never used it, on Groover you can choose who you want to get in touch with through a list of blogs, radios, record labels. You can really filter to choose who you want to get in touch with. You pay small amounts of money to get in touch with each of them. And we guarantee you that within a week, they're going to listen to your music and actually write you feedback. And if they don't, you get your credits back and you can get in touch with some other ones after a week. And when they do, they can either decline or they can also accept your music and decide to share it. And they get paid a fraction of this amount, whatever they're doing. So they keep totally independent on an editorial point of view. But it helps us to maintain an answer rate that is very high, above 85%. It's close to 90% right now. So when you choose people you want to get in touch with, you almost sure they're going to listen to it and actually write you feedback. And if they don't, you get credits back. And there are more than 1,500. I think it's 1,600 right now, creators available. Lots from very different countries. Some come from France, but from the US, from Mexico, from Brazil, from Italy, and also very different types. You have some blogs, some radios, online radios, some playlist creators, some record labels, and you can really choose who you want to get in touch with in that list. Google. Yeah, ended. Maybe someday. No, I think Groover is better than Google. I'm not sure, but I think it's better. I can see another question here. if you want to answer it, maybe Emma.
Yeah, sure. So if I want to promote an EP or an album through Groover, how should we proceed since we can link only one track? So that's a question that we get sometimes when artists want to promote their albums. What we advise you is to choose a focus track on your album. So maybe your favorite one could be also the one that you have a video for, or generally the one that you think has the most potential. And that's the one that you're going to put forward in your campaign. So that's going to be your main link. And you can also add the link to your album in your campaign. So the creators are going to listen to this one track. They can also click on your album if they want to hear it. Like if they're interested, for instance, for a label, that can be very interesting. If you want to send one track, but they could potentially listen to the album if they're interested. And you can also just say in your pitch that you have an album, talk about the release date, that you want to promote the whole thing. And yeah, I think that's how they usually do it.
Next question is, are there any genres that Groover's playlists specialize in, specifically looking for hip hop and Latin playlists? So the playlist creators and the other blogs and radios out there, they say what kind of music they want to receive. They also say in what language and from what countries, if they have specialties. So definitely for genres, a lot of them are very specialized. So we have a lot of them covering especially Latin music, some covering especially Brazilian music, some covering hip hop in English, some covering French rap. Really using the filters on the platform, you will be able to focus on the ones that are the best for your music. One tip I can give you is on your profile on Groover is to not add too many genres, because if you add too many, the algorithm on the platform is not going to be able to recommend you the right creators for your music. So I would recommend to only select 2 or 3 genres there, so that the recommendations we do for you of people to get in touch with stay relevant. So it's really something that has proven to be important in your choice, and using the filters as well help you really target on the playlists that are relevant for you. But we're very eclectic in terms of genre. We have a lot of playlists and creators focus on indie music, some on electronic music, some on hip hop, some on world, Latin, African music. It's very varied. So don't hesitate to spend a bit of time if you have some to dig into the list. For that, you need to start a campaign as a draft, add information about your track, and then you have the full list of creators and professionals available, and you can really dig through it and find the ones that are probably relevant for you.
And if you have questions about who you could contact, you can always click the link at the bottom of the page to chat with us, and we can listen to your track and help you choose the right contacts for you.
We have another question, and don't hesitate to ask all your questions. That way we can be sure to answer you. And if you have any questions that crosses your mind, don't hesitate. So this one is a bit complicated for me to understand, but we'll do it, I think. To bounce back on the fact playlist creators seem to not care about when the track is published. To do multiple campaigns, yes, lots of artists do that. Sometimes you can send a first campaign for your track when it's released, and maybe 3 months afterwards you haven't released a new track, but you still want to push this track. And actually on Groover there are a lot of creators that go away, some that arrive. So even in the course of a month you can have 100 or 200 new creators coming on the platform that you haven't yet contacted or got in touch with. So if you use it again a few months later or even a few weeks later, you can use the filters new, and you can look at the new creators on the platform and try to send a new campaign with new creators. It's actually very successful, because when you find the new creators there, you might be one of the first ones to get in touch with them. So there's a chance that they're gonna like your music. And it's actually something that's done a lot on Groover. Like if you wait a bit, you send a new campaign, but you target the new ones, new creators, you can have some really good results on there. So maybe you can take this one, Emma.
So I've had many people have submitted to share their email, both ones who advanced accepted, I suppose, my music, and those who only provided feedback. Would you suggest I send follow-up emails thanking them? I think if they give you their email address, you can definitely send them an email to thank them. If they've accepted your track, you can definitely give more information. You can already add all the information needed for the share on Groover, so you can add your file for your track, you can add your photos, you can add your press kit, etc. But if you want to send an email to just like remind them that and thank them that you've been accepted, you can definitely do it. And I think it's good also for you to build a relation with the contacts that give you the email. So definitely.
Yes, I agree. I think it's important once you have hooked someone, like once someone is likes your music, and wants to share it. It's important to follow up with them, because promotion can be like a very hectic thing, promoting your music and getting actually reviews. But if you follow up, and in your follow-up email you add again the information about your track, like the Spotify link to a Spotify place curator, or a bit more information about your project to someone else, that would be sharing it as an article, for instance, it's always helpful, because it puts a reminder to them. It helps them know that it's important for you to have your music shared. So actually following up is always a good idea. And thank them when they've not accepted your track. For now, they don't give their email usually, but if they give their email, it means that they probably want to keep in touch with you, or at least they want to authorize you to send them an email. So if it's the case, don't hesitate to thank them, to because it can nurture a relationship that can then become very interesting. And it's never a bad thing to follow up through email. That's what I meant. I don't know if there are some other questions. Yes. So what would be the recommendation of creating a really lovely song and making good campaign groover? It's a very good question. So we have actually an article about that. So I'm going to look for it in the FAQ. But we have an article that explains what kind of budget you should, maybe, if you want to have some good results, spend on Groover. One of the important things is um, that one of the correlation we saw is that the most satisfied artists are the ones who have contacted the most curators during their first campaign and their first campaigns. Especially, there's some kind of threshold around 30 and even 50 creators, where we see that people who have contacted 30 or 50 are really satisfied by their campaign. While if you have contacted only 5 or less than 10, it's more complicated. And it's actually kind of normal, because when you contact only 5 curators, if one doesn't answer, if 2 were not well targeted and not in the right ones in terms of jar, and only one accepts, and you've spent 10 euros, you're like, why did I spend 10 euros? But if you spend to, I don't know, 50 or 60 euros or 100 euros, and you get 30, 40, 50 pieces of feedback, and maybe 20, 25, 30% of them are acceptances, and really get some great results and opportunities out of it, it makes much more sense. So I would recommend for you to read to the article I just sent in the comments. You can like copy paste the link, I think, on YouTube, and put it in your like URL thing on Chrome. We give a bit more information about what kind of budget you should be putting on a release. It's actually a very important question. If you have a bit of budget, I would recommend to put minimum 50 euros. And if you're really definite about, like, you think that you can have really good results, around 100 euros is usually makes a lot of sense. And then if you get amazing results, you can put even more. Like, we usually have some people who put a lot of money because they get so many good results that then they build their whole like press folder out of this, and it's still um, far less expensive than hiring a PR agent. So I see that there's a support question. So can you explain what your problem is, Eunice? Because like I can see that you have a problem, and can you explain what it is? Um, we'd be happy to help, but don't hesitate to explain what your issue is. And you can use, once again, as I said, you can use the chat icon in the bottom left corner of the website to ask questions. It's the best place to ask. If you have an issue, or if you have a bug on the platform, it's the best place to actually report it and tell us, so we can help. Um, let me see some other questions. Do you have some other questions?
I've seen another question from Roxanne. That was, oops, sorry.
Yes,
If you
I can
can,
see it. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
For an artist who's just starting out, you recommend to create her network first with mentors or to contact clients. Do you want to answer, Emma?
Yeah, let me just read again. Okay, so I think if you want to build your network, you might want to. I think mentors are more going to be interesting for you if you're really looking for very, very constructive feedback, if you're maybe not sure about the track, it's not finished yet, or maybe advice on your career. But if you really want to build your network, I would advise you to contact like labels, managers, of course, bookers. That can be very interesting for you if you're in the stage of your career. But otherwise, getting the track out there will also help you build your network. So you can obviously contact playlists, like you said. You can contact the media, radios, etc., and that will help you grow in credibility, and then you can really reach out to labels, etc., and build your network. I think, yeah, I think mentors are really going to be more for like very good feedback for you. But I can definitely help with the network as well. Maybe they can give you ideas on how to expand your network, give you contacts. So it could be a good idea as well.
And we've set up badges so that you are able to identify the ones who are giving really high quality feedback. So once you've started your campaign, you initiated your campaign on Groover. I'll probably show it to you on my screen. Maybe it's the best. So if I show you here, I'm gonna log in and show you how to access to this. The account will be in French, so I'm gonna just set up the language in English so that everybody understands. So if you look at this, so I'm gonna just hide the message here, but and put it in a bit bigger like this. So if you look at here in the on the homepage, so you can click on add your track. This is what we recommend you start with. Um, if you've already used Groover, you already have tracks there. But if you don't, you can put a new track. So if we put this one, it's for Magan. It's an artist we support with Groover, and we always use his account to show how Groover works. So yeah, he's shown to a lot of people. If you want to check his music out, it's great. It's a psychedelic rock. So here we ask you just for your track title and some more information about it. You can also ask you add your YouTube link, Spotify link. You're not forced to add it right now, but you can put it if you have it. And that way you're gonna access this page where we ask you what your goal is, and it will help us and it will help target you to the right contacts for you. So get visibility and media coverage will direct you to more playlist creators, radio stations, blogs. Receive detailed advice will direct you more to mentors and sound engineers, as you were saying. And then build my professional entourage will bring you more to labels, bookers, and publishers. If I don't want to choose, I can show all of them. And then you have access to the list with all the creators and professionals. So if you look at this, you see that there are some springboards. There are some new creators that are there and that are outlined there and that can be interesting for you. And you can choose who you want to get in touch with here. And for each of them, you have information on their profile, their social media accounts, also who they are, what they want to receive in terms of specialties and genres of music. And what I mentioned here is to use the filters. And with the filters, you can filters by musical genres, you can filters by curators and prose types, so media blogs, journalists, labels, managers, sync supervisors, etc., etc. And then you can also use the badges, and especially you can use the, for example, the high quality feedback one, or you can use the very impactful one to really focus on some specific creators that we have identified as having this specialty of being a very cool Spotify playlist or giving some very high quality feedback, etc. So don't hesitate to spend some time using the filters. It can help you refine your selection and really contact the right ones for you. Did you get some questions in the meantime? Because I was expecting
Yeah,
with this demo we were gonna get some.
we got something
Thanks for
about.
your password. I don't. Did I show the password? I'm not sure. No, I think it was hidden. I hope so. Uh, so, do we have some questions?
My questions about becoming a pro-creator, so you just talked about them.
Yes. So we have a question about how to become a pro creator. So it's something that we entirely decide, and it's more about when a creator is very, very, very influential. We sometimes switch them to a higher tier, but it's not something you can request for now. It's more about the impact and the influence you can have. So it really depends on the impact you can have with your playlist or your blog, etc., etc. For now, it's really reserved to very, very, very big creators. Another good question: is it useful to promote my music after release? Do you want to answer? Maybe.
Yeah, definitely. You should absolutely promote it after the release. You can promote it before if you want, but I think after the release is always going to be a good idea. As we said before, playlists don't really care about when you release your track, so I think it's going to be a good way to continue the momentum that you started with your release and get the track out there really. So you can definitely get good results if you want to promote it before. We just advise you to wait until the release to contact playlist because it will make it easier for them to share it. So definitely share it to playlist after the release, and you can start with one track. If you have an EP or an album, you can, like we said before, you can start with one track, and then if you get good results, you can try with other tracks to get a like complementary um, promotion. So you can really do that after the release.
Exactly. And I also shared in the comments the link to another article, which is called When Should I Send My Music on Groover? And it's something we've written with a few tips about when you should use Groover, and especially this very important tip that you said, Emma, about Spotify playlist, that you should wait until your track is released to get in touch with independent place creator on Groover, because that way they have the Spotify link already available and they're going to be able to share. While when your track is not released yet, the problem might be that they can sometimes decline your song just because they don't have the Spotify link, because they used to really share it very quickly, the Spotify place creators. So when they don't have access to the Spotify link, they can tend to really to decline it just before the link is not available. So we really recommend that you, when you targeting playlist creators especially, you use Groover on release day or afterwards, while for bloggers and radio stations you can send it before release.
Yeah.
So I can see another questions about how can I pay your service from Russia? Yes, I think you can through the credit card option. We've seen some Russian uh, customers and artists being able to use the platform, so I'm not sure it's banned on this side. If it's the case, I'm sorry, I don't know what more you can do. And yeah, I hope at some point you'll be able to use it again. We have the same issue with creators on the other side, to be able to pay the creators from Russia. Hopefully at some point in time the situation will be better. um, what are your future plans? If I invest in Groover Pros now, how can I be certain that they'll be around even after 5 years? You're not sure they'd be around in 5 years. No, the idea is to promotion is something that is at a specific time, so a point in time. So when you invest on Groover to send them a track, the idea is to say, at this point, are they going to be able to bring you some visibility? Do they bring you some credibility? You can also look at their track record, see if they've been active for long or not, or if they've been active for just a few weeks or a few years. It's something you can look at. We on Groover, we only showcase the professionals and the creators that are active right now. If they're not active, if they become inactive, we don't show them anymore. So at a specific point in time when you use Groover, you really get in touch with the ones that are active at that point and that can give you visibility at that point in time. And you're sending always one track, your release, so it's the visibility you can get is linked with the fact that you're sending a release at a specific point in time and you want to get visibility at that time. I don't know if I'm clear. Maybe I didn't understand your question well, so don't hesitate to elaborate. Next question for Emma. Then I'm deciding.
Yeah.
What I haven't read it, but maybe it's the most complicated
Um,
question ever.
Obviously, so if I make music that is meant to be a support material for movies, anime openings, ads, or things alike, mostly orchestral cinematic music, can I use Groover for that? And if that's the case, who should I target? Uh, you can definitely use Groover for that. We have loads of artists that make film music and that use the platform and have great results. I think the first thing that you can look at is the playlist. We have loads of playlists that are like ambient, classical, loads of different genres that can appeal for like movies, anime, and ads as well. And on the other side, you can look at publishers and sync pros that are the people that would be able to get your music onto movies, onto ads. So there's been actually loads of very interesting opportunities for artists that have contacted sync pros and Groover. So you should definitely look into both options, I think.
Yeah, you can definitely use sync is definitely the filter you can use to try to target people who can help you put your music into films. And if your music is really like finished tracks, exactly what Emma said, you can get in touch with playlists and try to place them there. So question from Emilio, would it be possible for creators to share approved songs in one step? Yeah, we're working on it. It's in our roadmap. I don't know when it's going to be available, but it's something we're working on and we want to have available at some point, especially for playlist creators to save some time and help you share the tracks much more easily. We have a more general question. So maybe Emma, you can try
Yeah.
to pitch Groover again and say what it
Yeah.
is and how it works for an
So
artist.
the goal of the app, like you said, is really to help artists um, for their promotion because you can contact certain playlists, radio outlets, media outlets, blogs, journalists, loads of different contacts. And the goal would be for you to um, you're going to get your track will be listened to and you get a feedback within a week. It's something that is very important for us because we know that if you for instance try to send your music via email, you're probably not going to get loads of replies at all and it can be very disappointing. So the point of Groover is really to be sure that your track will be listened to and that you'll get good opportunities out of it. So if you target your contacts well, you're definitely going to get loads of good opportunities and you can build your network, you can get reviews, you can get added to playlists that will bring you streams. So it's very like it's you that tailor your campaign so you can build it with your needs according to your budget. So it's really very something that I think can help independent artists. So if you want to add anything, Dorian.
No, it's exactly that. And the idea is really to help you promote your music, get visibility, get feedback. The three main goals that you can pursue on Groover is getting visibility for your release, getting feedback on your music so you can improve or you can maybe target better then. And the third thing is really to get in touch with people who can become some partners, who can join your team. It's really like the three main goals that you can pursue. You're not forced to pursue all of them on the platform, but these are the three things that Groover helps do. So yeah, so we have people answering other people in the chat, which is great. Like, don't hesitate to do. If you have an answer to a question asked in the chat, like, don't hesitate to interact between each other. So, yeah, definitely, I agree. Like, even if you have a track that you have released a while ago and you think it can have a new youth, you can definitely try it out and try to have some results, especially through playlist creators on Groover. It's something that's changed a lot, especially with streaming. We saw that a lot of back catalogs of old tracks are starting to have new visibilities again on platforms, because now that all the music is available, you can listen to new music, but also to old music very easily. While before it was more like you were buying a CD and trying to listen to it like the most times you could. So it's a different way of consuming music, and so old music can become new again. We can see it with TikTok sometimes, with some trends that happen. So yeah, Phil, if you have a track you love and you want to promote again, you can definitely do it. You can maybe change the cover or something like this, and yeah. um, so I can see a question about promoting a cover. It's not something you can filter for right now, but we have a tag about covers on the creator's profile. So when they don't want to receive cover, they write it, and when they want to receive cover, they write it as well. Um, you can't filter for now by the fact that it is a cover or not. So I would recommend you to really focus on the genre of the cover and try to focus on people you think could be interested. A lot of them are very open to receiving covers, so it's definitely something you can try out on Groover, especially for playlists. Especially for playlists. Yes. Okay, we have another question here, maybe for Emma.
Hello guys, how do you recommend to use the system for getting in touch with bookers in France and Europe? So, Felipe, you should definitely. So, what you have to do is to start a campaign. You can enter your information about your track, and then at the next step, you're going to see the list of pros and curators that we have on the platform that are available. And so, I advise you to use the filters in your case. As you have a very specific goal, it's going to be more efficient for you. So you have the filters on the top right corner of the page, and you can click on the type of road that you want. You can choose bookers, and you can also choose the countries that you want. So you can definitely tick all the countries in Europe if you want, and bookers, and you will have the list of all the bookers that we have in France and Europe. So you can start your selection here, and then if you don't find that you see enough contacts, then you can try and add more countries or add more types of pros, so you can see all the different contacts that we have. But yeah, definitely filters will help you to see very in a very straightforward way the contacts that you're looking for.
Yeah, so I was showing you the main page. So it's once you've started a campaign and added information about your track, you get to that page, and you can use the filters here about bookers. And also, if you go down, you can filter by countries as well. You see, we don't have a lot of bookers because it's not the main role on Groover, and a lot of them are not actually looking for artists, but the ones of Groover are, and there are some in different countries, and you can definitely find your booker. We've had some signatures in booking from artists who found their bookers on Groover, so it's definitely possible. And that way, if you use these filters, you can do a very specific campaigns directed to them, and it can be successful.
Yeah,
For sure.
and I was thinking also you can like add more prototypes if you want to make it a bit wider. Like you can also add managers. It's not going to be exactly what you're looking for, but some of them do booking as well. So you can also look for other type of contacts that can help with this.
We have questions flowing. So the next one is, if during my previous campaign I received positive feedback from some media, do I need to recontact them on Groover when I start a new campaign, or is it authorized? So it's definitely authorized to get in touch with them by email. Like you can do whatever you want if you have their email address. The thing is, they tend to prefer receiving on Groover and answering there because it's much more simple for them. So actually, even if you've had an acceptance from them, you can try by email, but I would recommend actually recontacting them again with your new release through Groover, because on their side, they will also see that they have already accepted a track from you. So they will see it as a positive thing when they're listening, and also they will listen to it with a different ear. And actually, you can definitely use the filters again. So I will show again, but you can use the filters here to filter by the ones who have already accepted your track. So If you want to have only the ones who you have never contacted, you can, but you can also filter by the one who gave you positive feedback, who accepted your track, or only the one you have already contacted. You can really use that to focus on some of them if you want to. I would recommend on our side, when we do campaigns for artists, we usually always contact again through Groover the ones who have accepted the previous track, because it's a way to really get the most out of your release. And I can see another question that can be quick. What are the main territories the creators on Groover cover? So I think we can show the screen again, because if we go to the filters here, you'll see that out of the 1600, 1000, around 1000 are in Europe, 300 in France, close to 165 in Italy, 123 in the UK. Spain is growing a lot, Germany as well. In South America, Brazil is really big with 225. Then we have some other Spanish-speaking country. In North America, the US is big, and also Canada and Mexico. Asia is smaller, but we're starting to grow a lot in India. And in Africa, it's growing a bit in South Africa. As you can see, it's growing in a lot of countries. We have 18 in Australia as well. So we can really focus on very different markets here. But the biggest countries where you have creators are France, Brazil, Italy, the US, the UK, and now Germany as well, and Spain and Mexico. So you see, it can be like very, very broad. We have a lot of other questions. We plan to have an app. I wish. I wish. It's very complicated, because when you do an app, you have to recode everything in another language. It's like it's very complicated. It's as if we had to like have the whole website with a new user experience and a new language. It's something we cannot do right now with the resources we have, but it's something we aim at being able to do at some point. Like, we'd love to. Is it possible to apply for radios around the globe as well? Do you mean as a curator, or as a professional? You can apply as a radio station, of course, on Groover, if you host a show, or if you handle a radio station. By the way, impressive fluency. Okay, thanks. I don't know, like, if some of you are real native English speakers. I don't know what you think of our accent and everything. We try to have it like as good as possible, but we're still French. So like, I still have an accent. Like, Emma doesn't have a lot of like a big accent,
I do.
but like, we try to do our best, but it's complicated. Like, we're more fluent in French, obviously.
Yeah. At least if you understand us, that's good.
Yes. So we have a question. We'd love to see Google translate in my languages. So it's really something we want to do. We planning to have the website translated in as many languages as we can. We trying to implement a solution that will help us then translate it as many languages as possible. It's very technical, so we have to implement the technical solution to be able to have these multiple languages. And we probably focus first on Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian, and then probably some other ones. You can definitely have a look at our blog. On our blog, it's translated in 3 other languages, in Spanish, Italian, Portuguese. Our social media as well accounts. If you're from some different countries, you can see groover.br, groover.es. On Instagram are the accounts that we have in different languages. So we really want to have the website available in other languages. So hopefully it will be done at some point. And it's something we really want to have. Yes. Yeah. So we don't have a lot in Czech Republic. If you have some people that you want to recommend in specific countries that you feel would really have their place on Groover, feel free to send them out to us. I will give you the account, the email address of the creators team. Don't hesitate to suggest some creators to them. It would be great to know some great targets to get in touch with, so we can invite them on Groover. We really want to have the best creators possible on the platform. So um,
And I think you can also reach out to curators if you want and tell them, oh, you should definitely apply to
yeah,
Groover.
you can tell them that they should be on Groover. Like, it would be amazing. And actually, it's also something is, if you're an artist, there's you can also refer some other artists
Yeah.
to Groover and earn groovies with that. So you can click here in the top bar menu, and you have a referral link and a code here that you can use as well. And you can send that to your artist friends, and if they start using Groover, you will get some free credits for your next campaigns. It's something we updating a bit, and we have a lot of artists already referring some other artists. But if you know a lot of artists, you should definitely use that link. It's a way to earn free credits and get in touch with more people through your campaigns easily. So don't hesitate to use it. I can see. I feel like we're chatting. Yeah, yeah, a bit. Yeah, it's that. Like we're waiting for questions. There are like a lot of questions, but we're able, I think, to answer to all of them for now. So it's great. What creators do you recommend for US based hip hop? We
Maybe
can
in a
have,
show.
yeah. Mm, so it's definitely not for Magan. He's a psych rock band, but still, let's go and see what we found with the filters. So if I go there, you can use the filters here. One that comes to mind first is Dummy Magazine in the UK, which is a really cool magazine for hip hop. And if you go there and you put like, I don't know, hip hop rap in English, and you go there and focus on United States, 100 is a lot. You'll see that there are a lot of them that can be interesting, different styles. I think most of those ones are relevant. Of course, the ones who have hip hop in their name are definitely relevant. One thing you can see here is you can also use the badges. So we'll see if we have some who have certified Spotify playlist or certified YouTube channel, and maybe top curator pro to see if there are some of them and may be very impactful. See that there are 24. So these ones accept hip hop and are very influential, or have like one of those badges. So Sad Sound is a really cool playlist. Embassy Music as well. Grisha is a really good playlist curator, bringing a lot of streams to the people he accepts. Breaking Sound is a really cool platform, a bit like Sofa Sounds, if you want to book some shows, especially in the US or the UK. Shit. And Hip Hop MoMA as well. They have a really great playlist. So yeah, if you use those filters, you can see that you can find easily a lot of creators and professionals that are relevant for you. So this question, maybe you can see Emma.
Yes. So for becoming a booker or a curator, we need to invest or pay a fee. So you can actually sign up for free if you want to become a creator on Groover. I wanted to add the link, but I can't find it. So you can just just have to fill out your profile. You don't have to pay anything to register as a creator. You're going to receive a reply if you get
Yeah,
accepted.
the thing is, we will review your application. So if you're not really a creator, or if you're just an artist, we won't accept you as a creator. We're really looking at, do you have impact? Do you have a platform? Do you have something you can provide to artists? And we really review manually each application. So you can see the link to apply as a creator is here, but yeah, if you're an artist, we won't be accepting you as a creator on the platform. It's more not to, so that as an artist, when you're using it, you're really getting in touch with professionals and music creators. I can see a cool and interesting question, which is, are you mostly working with independent playlists on Spotify, or do you have the contact with the official playlist? I wish we had. I wish I knew anybody at the playlist team at Spotify, but I don't, and I've tried. So if someone is working with someone at Spotify here, please send them my email address. I will like clear out my day to talk to them. So I wish we have mostly independent playlists, but we verify that they have some impact and they can bring you some streams and they can actually bring you something interesting. But the official playlists are not there. I can say that some of them on the platform also work in a submarine way for some official playlists. So we have some in Brazil who are working with Tidal, I think. But it's really, we don't even know who they are. We just know that they're doing it on the side. So maybe you'll have a surprise at some point. So we have, thank you for this question and answer session. I was very happy to meet you live. Amazing. Really cool that you're using the platform as a creator. I saw also Unique Playlist, who's been with us for so much time, and happy to meet us, guys. So no, it's really cool to have, like, we have a lot of people on this live, so it's really nice. Like, if you have some other people you think it can be interesting for, don't hesitate. But we're already a lot, so it's good. We have a few more questions. We're gonna try to answer to them, and then we'll give you a special discount code for your next campaign. Also, anytime you have a question about Groover, how to use it, or you encounter an issue, you can use the chat icon on the website. So I'm going to show it again, but it's here. So it's masked here, but it's here, so you can see it here. And you can ask questions. So usually it's Emma. So she's not going to answer now if you ask a question, but there's also William, who's located in New York and who's amazing. And we always trying to help you out. So if you blocked on Groover at some point and you need some help, we're here to help. We have a few more questions, and I think then we'll conclude this session and just put the discount code here. Are you thinking of adding another section for DJs? We have some of them, but mostly because they have a playlist that is impactful. Because it's complicated to distinguish between DJs and artists. It's very interesting. We have the same question about beat makers and also artists. We trying to see what kind of interesting categories we could be adding. For now, we're not considering it except if they have a playlist that can bring some visibility on some other platforms, and we have some there. But it's an interesting question for sure. Thank you, Vincent. It's really it can be really interesting, I think, at some point. Elizabeth says, looking forward to running my first Groover campaign. So I think it's the time to show. So we have some questions. We have other questions, but I will show it to you so you don't. Some of you who have been there for a long time can go if you want. So this is the code. It's "You Are the Best." You can use it on your first campaign, or even if it's not your first campaign, you can also use it. And send you just a link so you can see how you can apply it to a campaign. So you need to start your campaign, select your curators and professionals, and then add the link, and it would give you a 10% discount. And I hope it can be useful for you and help you get in touch with more curators. But I think it can be great because it's a great timing in the year, May and June, to release music and get some visibility. The creators are very active. So if you have some tracks that you have released recently or you want to release, it's the good timing. I saw a question here at some point that's interesting, I think.
There's a question about becoming a creator and also being an artist.
Yes.
A little bit.
So you can't be if you're just an artist, but if you're something else, if you also have like a very influential playlist, if you have a radio show, you can apply as a creator, but you will need to present yourself as a radio show host or as a playlist creator. We don't want to mix too much, having artists on both sides, because artists wouldn't understand why they have to pay to get in touch with another artist. unless they get something on a professional point of view. So you can apply, but you need to have another platform, something to provide to artists. But it's not solely the fact that you are an artist yourself. I don't know if it's clear, but uh, so can a creator sign up with more than one playlist? So it's a good question. So when you apply in Groover, you can see yourself as applying as a place curator. So someone who have multiple playlists, but you apply with just one account and you can showcase different playlists on your profile. We're working on a way to do that better. But for now, if you have multiple playlists, you can put all of them in your description. Um, and the idea is that ways artists can see what your playlists are, but the idea is more to show yourself as a playlist curator. Yes,
Hmm.
amazing. I hope a lot of you guys are gonna, if you're not using Groover yet, you're gonna try it out. If you remember a bit of the advice that we gave, and maybe Emma, you can also add if I forget some. But one of the ones was to really fill out your profile, so it's very important, and to add not too many music genres, because that way we can recommend some good ones for you. The other thing is to use the filters when you're selecting the creators, so you're really selecting the right ones for you. And the budget question was interesting, to know that you need to get in touch with at least 30, 40, 50 creators will bring much better results than if you get in touch with only five. It's really how you get the value from Groover, the fact of getting a lot of feedback and a lot of opportunities. Um, what other tips? Maybe the timing to send your track. You want to send a word about it, Emma?
Yeah, sure. So any timing is good, really. It's just if you want to contact playlists, you should definitely wait until the release date. So you can always prepare the draft in advance. You can start the campaign. You can select your contacts, write your pitch, add the information about your track, and then you will, if you want to contact playlists, you will just have to add the Spotify link before you send your campaign, so everything will be easy for them to share. And also about the timing, if you want to contact labels, bookers, media, radios, you can do that all before the release but also after. So no big rules, just about the playlist really, but any timing is good. If you want to promote all music, it's going to be interesting as well.
Yes, and I'm thinking that a cool thing we can do then is maybe we can do a small recap of the Q&A that we'll post on Instagram, and it's a good way to tell you that you can also follow us on Instagram and to see all our news. We're also publishing a lot about the new creators that are joining Groover, about some opportunities that we're providing. We also organizing sometimes some meetups and some showcases, especially in Paris, in New York. We're gonna have 2 shows in New York in June. And we're gonna have some in Paris as well. We did a few events in the UK, so we're not all around the world, but almost. And so if you want to check out those news, don't hesitate to follow us on Instagram. Groover.en is the right account if you're an English speaking person. And you also have some for Brazil, for Spanish speaking countries, for Italian, and for English. So yeah, don't hesitate to have a look. I can see that there's a question. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, no, I know we're working a lot on it, and it's cool that you find it amazing as a creator, and it's bringing a lot to artists as well. So, um, I can see someone saying we should do a showcase in South Africa. Yeah, for sure. Send us an email. Send us an email. Send us a message on the chat icon on the website. You can also send us an email to support@groover.co if you have an idea. Um, and if you have an idea or if you have something you want to set up, we can put you in touch with Anthony, who's working a lot on this in the team, and yeah, it would be amazing for sure. I don't know if we'll be able to come, but this would be crazy, crazy for sure. Oh yeah, the question about how many people are working on Groover. So the problem is we have a lot of more new people, so I don't know the exact number, but we almost 35 full time. And we have a lot of ambassadors all around the world who are amazing and working for us as well, around 15. and in different countries, helping us create some creators, and also work on the community management and bringing you some news in all the different languages. So we quite a lot right now. It's grown a lot. And yes, Jason, of course. Like, if at some point I come to South Africa, definitely I will swing by if you invite me to your place, which I don't know how it is, but it's probably a great place. And yeah, with great pleasure. And if you come to Paris, the same. Please send me an email and come to by the office. It would be amazing to meet with you. Thank you about this. About this, yeah, we're happy that it was helpful. We're definitely gonna send a recap, post a recap on social media about the
Yeah.
tips that we gave. I was very happy to not do this live alone for the first time. So if so, it's really cool that Emma could be with us.
Happy to be there and answer your questions. So.
Yeah,
I will do. We can do it again if you.
Yeah, for sure. And probably at some point you will do it alone as well, or you will invite somebody else, and we can present you the whole Groove team at some point. So, yeah, amazing. So perfect. I think we're good. We're gonna show again just a discount code. That way we show that everybody has seen it. And thank you very much, everybody, for joining this live. It was really nice. It's less tiring when we're two. Like, yeah. So first, when I was doing that alone, I was at the end. I was like, I want to die. But actually, like, we have so much good vibes. All the artists and people who are interacting there. I hope it's useful to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'd love to help. So
yeah. I can see just one last question about if we have a Discord community. But
yes.
I don't have one yet.
We don't, but we want to have a Discord community or another kind of website where you guys can interact. It's really something we want to build. So for sure. Someone wants to buy us tacos in Mexico. Yeah, I think it's the last word of this session for sure. If we come, we will probably communicate when we go to places, especially on Instagram or on LinkedIn as well, but especially on Instagram. So if you want to meet if you want to meet with our ambassadors at some point, it's something we definitely can do. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining, and I hope it was useful. And if you have more questions, don't hesitate to use the chat icon on the website.
Yeah.
And see you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, I'm gonna show just the picture. Yeah, I think we can leave. Bye, Emma. Bye.